Hi, I'm Milton and welcome to Real News Friday. Thought this week I'd throw some statistics at you of a sort of a historic nature in terms of what's happened in the marketplace since the 70s. Now in Australia there was 9.8 million households in 2021. 67% of those owners were owner-occupiers. Of that 67%, 32% had no mortgage, so basically 1 in 3 Australians doesn't have a mortgage, which may surprise some people. On the flip side, there's 35% of those people, of that statistic, do have a mortgage. Now, renters consist of a couple of little different breakups. Is 31% of the renters, which is obviously normally through a private rental or through either through a real estate company or whatever, but owned by a landlord. 3% are through state housing, so that's 3% of the population of Australia is basically state housing of some sort or assisted schemes in some manner, so it's obviously quite a large number. And there's 2.1%, which is the remaining 2.1% is holiday homes and things like that. So that's it could be people's second homes or whatever. So there's sort of that sitting out there as well. Now, in terms of the home ownership in 1970, the number of owner-occupiers was a pretty similar percentage, and a lot of the numbers are very, very similar. The peak that we did see was 70% of ownership was in 2006, and most of us would remember that was one of the peaks in the marketplace where everybody was buying. Everyone thought the streets were made of gold in those days, and we saw quite a peak in and around that time. So home ownership got up to about 70%. Now, the interesting one, also now from a statistic point of view, the 30 to 34-year-olds represented 64% of the overall market of home ownership. In 1997, that has dropped to 50% in our current into 2021. So we've seen this shift of some of the demographic groups, and we've seen that also some of the lower grades have all dropped a few percentages, but we obviously people are still staying in the homes, and with growth of population sort of subsidised it to still keep it at 67%. So interesting numbers. Our trends are basically seem to be the same. Obviously, home ownership is still a large priority for most Australians. It seems to be the Australian dream and continues to be that. I think in terms of investors, it's sort of stayed the same number throughout that period as well. So that's an interesting one as well. I think we'll probably see the same trends continue into the future. But just thought we'd do a bit of a flashback, see what it looked like in the past, and do some comparison to those times. All the best. In the meantime, if you're thinking about anything to do with real estate, give our team a call, particularly in the market where you're wondering where your equity situations are, what you can borrow, what you can do in the future. All our teams are more than happy to have a chat, particularly Plus Loans. They're more than happy to do some sort of spot numbers for you to see where you're at as for terms of how interest rates are affecting you, etc. Anyway, all the best, and look forward to speaking to you again next week.